Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Wednesday, June 26, 2024, post-market report. We have a lot to talk about here, people. Let's just start off with the freak show market. It allows me to get my head on straight. So we put gains on today with regard to the major indices, and we haven't seen anything yet. Are we due for a pullback? I guess the market is never due for anything, but we've gone pretty much straight up now for an entire month. And the market is defying gravity. Clearly, the Fed's buying it all with regard to the debt market now, keeping rates suppressed, not going to stop anytime soon. The Fed is going to continue to balloon not just the debt, but also the currency on an incredible scale, along with other central banks. And this is manifesting itself in a very direct way. We're seeing food inflation continue to skyrocket. This was a theme you and I discussed right here on this blog many, many, many months ago, how food inflation would outpace everything. Well, we're getting a few warnings here, and I'm going to show you a chart right off the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, which is going to blow your mind. Again, not a surprise to you if you follow this blog, but my theme has been eventually we're going to see a scarcity of resources on a scale, again, that people aren't going to believe. And that comes down to what do they want to do? Of course, the best way to control us all would be to starve us and have a lack of ability to attain basic resources, which is coming clearly. The hyper debt bubble that we are in, and it's way beyond that. This hyper economics situation that we've had now for quite a while. None more so than the last three freaks that has sat behind the Resolute desk. They've done more to empower the Fed and create the current situation than every single president combined. Although it's not the president, of course, they're just a figurehead, and they're not responsible for a damn thing other than division, hatred, and deception, and a series of distractions. That's all they're good for. That's all they're there for. And they got their orders before the so-called debate tomorrow, which would be more like a clown show. But we'll talk more about that too. But the fact of the matter is, and let me just show you this real quick. This is a Morning Star from today. This is a headline. Just read the headline there. Consumers battle fatigue over food inflation. Now, this chart right here is taken right from the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. What do you see going on here? This is food inflation. Do you believe, any of you here, Tyler, thank you. Tyler twice, thank you. How many of you believe this is going to stop? How can this stop if this is their goal here? Okay, to continue to inflate the money supply, which is out of control. Please use the Federal Reserve's own website as a weapon against them. Look up the monetary base, what they're doing to it, how the Fed is keeping rates suppressed here. This is the MMRI right today, right at the market close. Look at this trend. This is the Fed buying all the debt. As the Fed buys the debt, Fed is lowering rates right now, although they haven't announced it officially. Jeffrey knows exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. It's their mechanism here. They're buying all the debt, and this is, of course, pushing bond yields down here. This uses the MMRI, uses the benchmark or the 10-year yield, because it is the benchmark, and obviously the dollar, which is a unit of debt, along with what's known as the golden ratio, 1.61, to come up with this. It's kind of interesting, but it's working. It's telling us what's going on. We don't need any freak Fed president, whoever else, to tell us what we can see with our own eyes. Remember, they don't want you to see this kind of stuff. Tyler knows, again, what I'm talking about here. It's incredible. But the fact of the matter is the Fed is right now managing the debt market as they have for a very, very long time. They are cutting rates. They're buying debt. They're issuing debt through one door, that is creating currency, and they're buying it back through another door, and that is here keeping rates suppressed, pushing cash into the stock market. And also, as we said, you got cash coming out of commodities here, which is where the real opportunity is, people here. And of course, cryptocurrencies, which ended the day under some pressure. Just with regard to energy and commodity prices, just wait, people, as to where. So I want to just show you this again. Surprising to you? Look at this again, right off their own website, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Food inflation skyrocketing. Now let's talk about something else here. before we get to some economic news, which you're just going to love. So this is an article here that I found very interesting by, I can't pronounce the last name, but first, Sonny Vergess, something or other. So food wars loom as nations hoard supplies. Now, let me I'm not going to read all this to you, but a couple of things here. So food wars loom as nations hoard supplies. Why are nations hoarding food, hoarding supplies? What do they know that they don't want you to know? Frank knows exactly what I'm talking about. And thank you, bro. So according to the author of this, the world is on the brink of food wars. There is a straining food supply. Imagine our shock here. This is exactly what you and I have been talking about. A resource problem on a biblical level is coming. The author here highlighted that government-imposed trade barriers intended to protect domestic food stocks have exacerbated food inflation. Sure as heck looks like he's right on this. He or she, Sonny, well, this is no doubt about it. It's created an exaggerated demand-supply imbalance driving up prices. It's not just that either. Obviously, it's the action of central banks who are continuing to inflate here. This is leading to higher global food prices and deepening food insecurity. They're going to force this on every single one of us, just so you know. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here. Have the high ground. Be ready for anything. You do need a supply of food, access to water here. If you grow this stuff on your own, obviously you're way, way ahead of the curve. But this is where we're going. If you can't see this, because we've been talking about it since like forever, then I don't know what you're missing. Now, with regard to this creation of this neo-feudalistic society, we got some pretty bad economic news. This is the headline from Market Watch today. New home sales plunged to the lowest level since November, but it gets worse than that. Not only this is Reuters, new home sales slump and the supply is at a 16-year high. See, we were sold the lie, of course, that there was not a good enough supply of homes. They're everywhere. In my area here, you could walk into anywhere and there's homes everywhere, brand new ones. Quick move-ins, homes being built. It's a lie. It's been a lie since day one. They're trying to justify the new all-time record high, which we just got with regard to home prices. And we have with regard to rent, you haven't seen anything yet. Again, a nation of extreme haves, extreme have-nots. The middle class is being wiped out. Now, tomorrow during the clown show. Both of them really should be wearing a clown suit as they walk out on stage. They're going to point at each other and blame inflation on the other guy. Let me explain this to you, what's really happening here. With regard to money creation or currency creation, Mitch knows what I'm about to say more than likely here. It takes a finite or a certain amount of time for all of those extra bills to make its way through the economy and chase the same amount of goods. Biden knows that. Well, maybe he doesn't because the guy doesn't know which end is up. Trump clearly knows that. He's a master of debt, and he really played his role well in inflating the United States debt on the back of Obama, took his lead. If we just focus on the last three here presidents again, what they've done is allow the Federal Reserve to balloon the money supply, to balloon the debt. Now, again, because the economy has been in a disaster area, well, since the meltdown of 2008, Obama tried to have the Fed prop it back up, absolutely did that. Trump, same thing here, keeping rates suppressed, keeping the dollar weak, right up, rah, higher stock market. The illusion of prosperity, people believe the market's high. Oh, new record high today. How many times did he say that? And everyone cheered and cheered and cheered. All it was easy money. It was allowing the Fed to empower itself, get stronger. Now, all of these extra bills take a certain amount of time to make its way through an economy. When you have an economy like we've had since the meltdown, it takes longer for those bills to make their way through the economy. I've covered this a million times. It's called money velocity. Now we're seeing it pick up. Okay, money velocity was at historic lows during Obama, during Trump. Now we're seeing it pick up. That's all those extra bills really starting to chase the same amount of goods. But so they're not going to tell you, neither clown is going to tell you that it's the Federal Reserve that's responsible for ballooning the money supply, for buying all the debt here. Some presidents have called for the Fed to do that. Case in point, Trump specifically. Okay, this has made the Fed much stronger than they were. prior to his tenure, and it's getting stronger now. The Fed is going to get a lot stronger moving forward, no matter what freak or traitor, should I say, is selected to sit behind the resolute desk. They're going to point at each other and blame each other for inflation. They're going to point at each other and blame each other for the economy. It's not presidents who run the economy. It's the Federal Reserve. It's not presidents who are responsible for the money supply or the buying purchase of debt. It's the Federal Reserve or central banks here. But again, you're not going to be allowed to know what's the root cause here. Every manner of deflection and deception will be used by both clowns to not allow you to know the truth. Keith knows what I'm talking about, and so does Jan Stunkel. Thank you. No, man, I am nowhere near a legend, bro. I'm just a guy with an attitude, because I know what I'm talking about. And you're right here. Babylon is everywhere. This system, it just doesn't work, unfortunately. And it's leading to an inevitable climax, and it's going to bring us all to, that's what they want, of course, the climax, which will bring us all to our knees. And, the greatest threat right now to our lives is not even nuclear war. Or the expansion of war, the propagation of war. It is this hyperbubble in debt. And this is why, the reason why nations are hoarding supplies and hoarding food. You can't know these things, okay? It's a method of control as well. As the food supply becomes scarce or non-existent, and this is a worldwide scenario where it's going to go here, the government's going to say, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. Who's the government? The government is the Federal Reserve. Who's going to, again, it's the same scenario all the time. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem is, system is in meltdown. Couldn't be more evident than now. Again, home affordability, the price of food here. This is outrageous. Why are people not up in arms over this here? Why is it that, I don't know, Biden or Trump doesn't show you this, okay? And then tell you who's responsible, who's actually responsible for this. They won't do it. They can't do it. They've been told not to mention it. And they will comply. Again, they will comply. It's a puppet show. Both of those guys are puppets. They're being told what to do, what to say. There's no difference in either one of them, because they don't run any damn thing. One might tell you who to hate more than another group of people, the other guy. But that's okay. That's a whole other thing we need to talk about maybe down the line. So watch for the blame game. It's not so much what they say. Listen for what they don't say during the clown show tomorrow. Anyway, this is, again, no surprise to anyone. It's what happened to the laws of supply and demand. You see, they don't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. When you have this kind of situation of mass currency devaluation, and we're getting a lot more of that, no matter, again, who they put behind the resolute desk, currency devaluation is key. It is the key to allowing the Federal Reserve here to gain even more power. And all central banks are on the same boat. They're in a race to the bottom. You all know that. I've been telling you this for 1,000 years, it seems right now. Destroying the purchasing power of the currency. And that's what we're seeing here. But you're not allowed to know that either. No one's going to tell you the truth. It's all going to be just a freak show tomorrow and every freaking day with regard to the mainstream media and how this whole thing just plays out here. What else did I write? Fed inflation, it seems to hurting consumers. Oh, this is another thing here. With regard to food inflation, so food inflation continuing to hurt consumers. People listen to this, okay? People, I think, generally would like to eat healthy food. I know I do. I like to eat food that's more natural, that's not loaded with preservatives and everything. Anyway, so what's happening here is because of this, people are now being forced to buy the cheap junk loaded with sugar and garbage. So, of course, this adds to their poor health, and the big pharma is loving that. Again, look next time you go to the supermarket, Tyler knows exactly what I'm talking about. Look at all the food that's at eye level. All of this is the junk, okay? All the good stuff is out of your sight. It's here. All the cheap nonsense is here. All the good stuff is here and here. They want you sick. They want to make you sick. They want to poison you. They want you, again, in a very debilitated state, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. That's how they win. Does this sound right to you, or am I like way off base here? All this stuff adding up here. But with regard to all of this, if you think we've seen it all, or whoever they select behind the resolute desk is going to make a difference with regard to this, You are so, again, indoctrinated into some kind of alternate reality. You have to face as to what's going on. And then you need to take action. Again, preparing, having the high ground, being aware of what's happening to you. And then again, from a financial standpoint, it can't be easier here. Hoarding hard assets, silver, gold, gaining exposure to commodities, staying long the stock market. Why? Because of this. Look, we're going to have advanced knowledge, you and me, of when to get our cash out of this freak show. Okay. Believe me, I know this is not real. There's no price action. There's no real price discovery today between any asset whatsoever. When you have this kind of a thing where the Fed's buying all the debt, keeping rates suppressed, what does it do? You know what I'm going to tell you. It opens up that doorway for cash to make its way into the stock market, creating a hyper bubble like we've never seen before in the history of the world. This stock market bubble eclipses every bubble before it by exponents. But again, this is going to change at a time of their choosing. But we are watching risk. When this starts to spike uncontrollably, we're going to see 25, 30, 40, 50 basis point jumps higher with regard to the 10-year yield, and it's going to rock the stock markets of the world. We get out. That's when we get out of the market. You understand? Till that time, let them play their game. They want to suppress rates. They want to, create this illusion of prosperity by a higher market. Oh, record high, record high, record high. Who owns most of the market? The 1% and 2%ers. The 1% and 2%ers own the vast majority of the stock market. Oh, sure, it makes your 401k plan, your investments look great on paper, but you got nothing. You got nothing. These are not realized gains. Okay, they're going to turn into realized losses if you're not out first. Be smarter, or cheat. We don't cheat. We don't need to cheat. All we got to do is be smarter, which we clearly are, and we will be one of the first out of this market, because I watch this stuff around the clock, minute by minute, period, the end. With regard to commodities and stuff, people, it's a no-brainer. Risk on will turn risk off. Risk on, cash being forced into the market. You need exposure to commodities here. Use every opportunity that they give you, okay, to acquire more of these things, okay? These things here. Here's some copper for you as well. Because that's where cash is going to go, into suppressed assets. And there's, again, in my opinion, silver is the most undervalued asset in the world at this particular time. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. Right, Mitch? Mitch knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, people, look, what we're going to see during the clown show is more division, more hatred between people, instead of us unifying, because they fear that more than anything. You understand? And they are just puppets, both of them, playing their game. And the game, again, is designed for you and me to lose. But there ain't no way we're losing. No way. Nobody here is losing on my watch. I refuse to allow that to happen. Anyway, people, that's pretty much where we stand here. I think most of you here, and I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Is this where we're at? Or is Greg in an alternate reality? Do you see what's going on? Is it easy once you put all this stuff aside here and you realize that this is all just politics? Not politics, man. It's a game. All of this is a game, and they're not working for you. None of them. You may think they are. Biden's got my back. Trump's got my back. In no way do either one of these things got your back, okay? They were for the Fed. Where's the proof? Look at their track records. What has the Fed done under each of these freaks? Have they stopped ballooning the money supply? Have they stopped buying the debt? No, they've only exacerbated the problem monumentally, trillions of dollars. And how does that help you? It's manifested itself in inflation, okay? And what they're not telling you is this is going to get monumentally worse here. Look, you want to end central banking? It's the easiest thing in the world to do. Prevent them from issuing $1 single of debt, just one. The whole system will collapse, but they can't. They have to issue debt exponentially moving forward, and that's how they consolidate power. And where do they get? They extort their power out of us. And then they tell us it's this. Oh, blame this or blame this person. The Federal Reserve must remain an institution here, which is not federal, not reserve. The name alone is a fraud. The whole thing is a fraud. Okay, it's a Ponzi. It's all it is. But they must remain blameless, and no one's going to point their finger at them. No one. No. Because you see, they need them to foster this illusion, and this is just an illusion of prosperity. And many people still believe that Stock market's at record high. That must mean the economy is strong. It couldn't possibly be worse than we are. I mean, look at this. You want to see? You think again? This should blow your mind. The truth is always hidden in plain sight, and here it is. Anyway, that's kind of it, people. You think we did this? I think so. Anyway, people, I just want to thank you for being here, for your love, your support, for those thumbs up here. I know we can improve on that. We're doing okay though, honestly. Let's just again, let's not allow them to twist our minds here. Imagine the power we can have if we actually united, if we came together for what's happening to us here. If we were told the truth about what's going on here, we'll never hear it. So you just have to look through it all, and we have to decide for ourselves the action that we need to take. This channel is all about that. It's all about solutions, about what we need to do. We can't take back the system. Again, what are they doing? They're creating dependency on the system, slavery to the system. People are willingly surrendering themselves to this because they can't get by. So what's their choice? They just throw up their hands. But not you and me. We are the rebellion. And we're rebelling because we're betting against the system. We're becoming our own judgment. We're using the system that they have given us and weaponizing it against them. That's what we're doing here. My lions that have been in this market with me, I mean, let's be frank, we've made a lot of cash here. But what are we doing with that? We're not just sitting in it. We're pulling that out. We're converting it into other assets. Period. I think I think we're invincible, and we got each other. You know that, and that is my that's my biggest thing, is that we got each other's backs always. Yeah. Look, my blood pressure. I didn't freak out today. I know. Believe me, people. You're right. Greg has to mellow. I just can't tell you how this stuff gets to me sometimes. It makes me crazy. It really does. And I get out of control because I see what's happening to people, how people are suffering, and how this is going to get worse. And that, I don't know, call me whatever you want, but it bothers me when I hear from people, a lot of you, how the system has destroyed you, have wiped you out. And sometimes people have to get down that low before they can make a turnaround. Things always have to get worse, and then maybe even worse than you think, before they'll actually get better. But what they're doing, what they're doing to us, is they're pushing us all off of a cliff here and leading us into a new system, a new paradigm, a new set of rules. I've been telling you this for 10 years. I can't imagine that it's more in our face than now. Okay. All right. Look, I am going to let all of you go. But that doesn't mean we're not going to see each other in the morning, just a little bit. All right, a little bit. So until we meet again, people, what's Greg going to tell you? What am I going to tell you? Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. All right. That's the most important thing. All right. Love you a lot. I'll see you in the morning.